companion with the stories that matter. This is Rise and Shine on Channel Africa.
Right, it's that time of the morning where we zoom in on a region of the continent and we take a look at some of the stories that are playing out in the region. And helping us unpack that is Dr. David Matsanga. Always good to have you on the program. Thank you so much indeed for joining us and welcome.
Yes, Ndolo.
So let's begin with this sad story that apparently the Nigerian government is failing those girls that the Chibok girls that escaped from Boko Haram.
Good morning, Africa. Good morning, Peter Ndolo. Thank you very much, my brother. We are still continuing to serve Africa. First of all, let me come to that story. It's a very, very pathetic situation that Nigeria finds itself in. First, the Boko Haram have kidnapped almost 50, let's say almost 25,000 girls are missing in northern Nigeria. And then the Nigerian government told Boko Haram that once the girls and the rescued come back, assured Amnesty International that once the girls come back, they will be rehabilitated, they will be reintegrated into the communities. What has happened is that, as usual, corruption in Nigeria has destroyed this country. Corruption has entered this situation. The situation back there now is that most of these girls who were abducted by Boko Haram are either returning to their former, jobs of terrorism, or they have been left for prey for other, calamities that are taking place in that state. So it is a very, very bad failure on part of the government of Nigeria in not, committing themselves to what they agreed with Amnesty International.
Mike Ozekome has warned that the country is sliding towards a one-party state. I mean, how real is that threat to democratic backsliding in Nigeria? What signs should we be looking at? Is this something that's real?
It is real. Nigeria is, I told you a few days ago here on this same platform on Wednesday, Peter, I told you Nigeria is a country without a country, a state without a state. In political science, which I teach up to the highest level on planet Earth, once you find a state, a country without a country, a state without a country, a state, governance has collapsed. Economic activities have collapsed. Abduction, terrorism, kidnap, hostage taking, bandits. Jesus Christ. Then on top of that, corruption that has been embedded into the systems. A huge state with 250 million people, the biggest in Africa, we have done, which could have given us an example. Could be selling, if we sell our goods to Nigeria, they consume, 250 million people will consume our goods from South Africa. South Africa will also pick goods. We could have done trade, but Nigeria has let us down. Peter, we are on our own. It is indeed going towards dictatorship. And once you see that, any student of political science and international relations, you see those signs, you never know. There is likelihood of the army stepping around, which you see around there in Togo, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, and Mali. There's anything could happen in Nigeria. Yes.
Let's go to Liberia now. I mean, this story is almost too incredible to believe. Former Speaker of Parliament and 3 other lawmakers facing charges including arson and attempted murder. What is this telling us about political accountability and the state of governance in Liberia?
Very sad. A man destroys his own office. It is sad. It is like someone burning your parliament in Cape Town. down because he's not going to be elected. But my brothers in West Africa, my dear brother Peter Ndoro, at least there is something that is coming out from these states in West Africa. Some people are very bold in their actions. This Speaker of Parliament of Liberia organized others, allegedly, because the matter is in court, organized others when he saw the vote was not coming. You notice that, Peter, African politics has become politics of the chest. The more organized in muscles, the more you can, win over your friends. There is no tolerance here. So this guy saw he was going to lose the post. He organized others. They said to lose it, let's all lose. And they allegedly set fire on the whole parliament, which will take $8.3 billion to repair. That's a huge loss, like what happened in Gabon. You remember the former Secretary General of African Union? That man, Jean Ping, the one who killed Muammar Gaddafi together with the French. This guy organized to ban the parliament of Gabon and the Supreme Court of the Gabon because they had lost elections. So Africa is heading, especially the West African states, there is a lot of violence being planted in people, among people, and this is not good for Africa.
Yeah, another incredible story in Ghana. Ken Ofori-Atta, the former finance minister, is now on an Interpol red notice. What do we know about the allegations that he's facing? And could this be something that affects Ghana's political and financial stability at all, given his former position?
Yes, this is we call it the cathedral scandal, cathedral gate. You know, Peter, people are even breaking into churches. Did you know that?
Wow.
A few days ago, I learned something that never happened to Dr. Matsanga and you those days when we were growing up. A church was the most feared, respected place. But even thieves have reached a point of breaking or cheating money that is meant for the church. This horror minister exaggerated all these bills, got his cut, 10%. Usually in Africa, we call it 10%. And he pocketed his money. Now, and you know very well that Mahama was not in good books. This is the same minister who hunted Mahama down. Politics also has become witch hunt. When you leave power, you want also to be, you want those, when you get power, you want to witch hunt those whom you have defeated. That type of intolerance should end. But on this case, the cathedral cash was eaten. The cathedral bills were exaggerated. The money, the bills of quantity of all this survey, everything was inflated for the man to pocket the money. And therefore, I think it better comes up in court and stand the trial other than the red alert can pick you anywhere of Interpol.
All right, let's talk about the Wagner Group, their formal exit from Mali and its replacement by Russia's Africa Corps. What does that signal in terms of Moscow's engagement in the Sahel? What does it say about Russia's evolving strategy on the continent?
I am very pleased for the first time. Peter, I'm not a communist. I want to tell you, but I grew up loving communism because these guys in the West, in the East, do their things very nicely. You remember some of us got our training in Cuba and other places, North Korea. We went there for a visit with our former presidents. And let me tell you, for the first time, I'm pleased that Russia is bringing up something which is economic rather than military, economic package. That I have been to Mali several times. I've been to Burkina Faso. I've been to Niger. Those younger men, apart from the one in Niger who is almost my age mate, the other two are younger people to us. So when you reach there, they give you respect and speak out their mind. Especially the one of Burkina Faso has spoken his mind to me several times. Let me tell you, they are determined to make a change. What kills those states in that West African corridor of Sahel is infrastructure. The civilian governments were stealing money. They were stealing money, pocketing. Conde, look, Conde was stealing money, banking in France. All of them steal money. Why France backs the civilian government? And why Moscow is coming in now to say, look, you have been with these people for 400 years, but they have done nothing. No roads, no hospitals, no schools, no infrastructure. We are going to do it. We shall give you military, but also economic. So that package, for the first time, I'm impressed with Russia's approach. While USA goes on fighting South Africa and collapsing Elon Musk, these other guys are pulling them up. They are going on. They are going to develop that place if that strategy works.
What do we know about this Africa Corps, though? I mean, is it going to operate differently from Wagner? Is it maybe just a rebranding of the same military agenda, just under a different name?
It is what you call is an ingredient of economic package with military package. They give you military protection while downstairs they are trading in your minerals. They also want minerals. Don't forget that area is full of gold, diamonds, and everything. Like Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali. They trade. They come now with a package, which America is doing, only that America is in the West. They cover themselves under this norm of democracy, which is now, there is no democracy in America left anyway. It is what we call transactional democracy. In political sense, transactional democracy. If you have minerals, America will give you democracy. If you don't have, they will hit you. So you can see what is happening. They tell you, we want oil, we shall give you arms to kill Russians. So that type of democracy with Trump is gone. So what the Russians have done, after seeing America falling out with several states in the world with tariffs, they have begun now this economic COP, which is an organization where you have engineers, where you have doctors, where you have scientists coming into your region, but also these scientists are military. It is equivalent to that, or any student of international relations, like I do teach international relations, you will see that China has got military. It is the same format. When Chinese come to build your railway, they carry money, labor, they don't use the African labor. Most of the people, they work 24 hours. Some of these are soldiers. So it is a different format to Wagner. Wagner was purely military mercenaries who could come to kill and go for money. But these ones come and do economic activities like trading and exports of minerals and other resources of those countries.
Some people might describe this as a new phase of Russian expansionism. Can Russia be trusted in your view?
I think we are switching from one colonial master to, we are staying on the frying pan? Have you seen that? Are we stable? Not from fire. Actually, we are on the frying pan, still being fried, because either side, they are not Africans. It is because African Union is corrupt, collapsed. It has gone down. African Union is no longer, if we were united, Peter, in the entire Africa, entire West Africa, entire SADC, entire East Africa, entire ECOWAS, if we were united and by now we are doing free trade, some of these countries would be talking to African Union headquarters, not talking to smaller countries. This is why we have been fragmented. This is another colonial man coming in a disguise of COP, Russian. I don't stand for on the other side, but in the absence, the vacuum created by United States of America and created by the French puppetry in the region, where the French have become, their policy of assimilation, where they take things to Paris, then give us, pieces to eat, the remnants. There is nothing wrong with this. The Russians are coming in to fill the gap, but indeed, as you asked, there are also neo-colonials. That neo-colonials coming on the stage to milk also the minerals of Africa, because Africa and Africans are never united. How many of them go to Dubai and dump the money there? Look at Dubai. Look at Abu Dhabi. Look at Qatar. You think Africa does not have money to buy those aircrafts? You don't, your airline in South Africa has collapsed because we are not honest. You have now taken it under receivership. Yet it was one of the biggest, the flagship of Africa. Look at those type of things where Africa has failed. Russia is coming in to take the vacuum.
And that's where we're going to leave it for today. We could always talk for so long, but never enough time. But thank you so much always for your valuable insights, Dr. Matsanga.
Keep it going. I don't retire. I saw someone, that younger lady of ours, colleague is trying to retire. Don't retire yet. We are about to represent Africa. You and I, we have been on this for a long time, Peter. Don't retire yet.
Amen.
I have not retired. Look at me. I'm a general.
Amen.
Still going on. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day. All right, that's our resident analyst in West Africa, Dr. David Matsanga, political scientist and conflict resolution analyst, speaking to us about some of the big stories that are playing out in West Africa. It's time for your news headlines. Here's Jwalane Tulongwebe.
SABC News.